day went, Drew?
I thought it was good. I thought we played with good tempo. I thought we did some good things. We'll go look at the tape. I'm sure there's some things that'll stick out that we can improve upon. But it's always nice to change it up, kind of kick the competition up a little bit too. It's been a competitive camp for us, but at some point you get tired of going up against your own defense and own offense, day after day. So nice to come out here to Southern California, play against a really good team and a good coaching staff, a good scheme. It's good work for us, and hopefully there's a lot that we can learn from it.
Was it better than the first day last year? Is it fair to say?
Yeah, it was. I think it was just more energy. Obviously, traveling on the plane 4 hours, get in late last night, and then wake up and go right to practice. That's tough on the body, but guys were able to get themselves ready and got out here, and I think we got a lot of good work done.
Drew, was it from Melvin Ingram? That one's not supposed to happen.
No, listen, and he came up to me afterwards and apologized. Yeah, that's obviously you're trying to take care of one another, and but stuff's happening fast out there, and so at times guys are gonna bump into you.
Drew, it was a dozen years ago or so that you first met Philip and started working with him in a quarterback room. What do you remember about those 2 years together? Was Philip really inquisitive? How did you guys kind of gel as a starter and backup?
I think it was a tough set of circumstances, obviously, because they drafted him in 2004 to basically take my job, right? Yeah. So I think everyone always tried to kind of pit us against each other, and couldn't understand how we could be friends, or good teammates for one another, in the quarterback room when we were, having that type of competition. But we were, I think from the moment I was around Philip, you realize he was going to be a very good player and he was going to be around for a long time. I like to think for those 2 years, we brought out the best in each other, and it was a great learning experience for both of us, and I think we both got a lot better as a result of it. But yeah, from the very beginning, you knew that he's got a mind for this game. He's a student of the game. He's highly competitive, and just makes plays. He's look at the length of time that he's been able to do it. In one place with a lot of different faces around him over the years. So credit to him.
He told me that one thing he remembered was that when he was the number 2, that he still tried to contribute in game week, whether it was in film and trying to help out. Did you appreciate that, or would your preference have been, it's game week, I do it my way, and it's easier to just kind of be on an island?
No. You evolve, obviously, how you prepare over the years. Like, I'm prepared differently now than I did when I was a young player. I feel like I've learned so much more. I know what I'm looking for. But it's really a group effort. It's a collaborative deal in the quarterback room. You've got your offensive coordinator, you've got your quarterback coach, and then you have the other quarterbacks that are all, looking at the same film, and yet maybe there's little things that each of us is seeing a little bit differently, and then you have a chance to talk about it, and there's things that you can glean from that. So I valued that. Doug Flutie was in our room too in 2004, which Doug, a legend of the game, a guy who, both Philip and I gained a lot from, and then Brian Schottenheimer was our quarterback coach. And so we all had a great relationship. We all had a lot of fun. It was very competitive, but I felt like we all brought the best out of each other.
Drew, what are the things that make Mike Thomas special on slants and hitches?
Yeah. Well, he's a highly competitive guy. He's really good with his technique. Open up the whole route tree. When you're able to set up every route with other routes, then that's what makes you very, very dangerous, because the DB never really knows what you're doing. DBs are trained to, hey, look at his split, look at his feet, look at all these things, and yet I think Mike is aware of that. So Mike doesn't try to make himself so predictable. Mike goes out there and is able to change things up enough and develop fundamentals with each route to where he's the one dictating to the DB what he's going to do versus the other way around.
Do you feel like you guys run that slant more than you did early on in your time here?
Well, Mike's a very good slant runner, so we're going to throw those to him. We're going to throw a lot of other stuff to him too.
Sure. Where have you seen progress from Ramchick this year?
Well, he's obviously getting a ton of reps on the right side. When he first came in, obviously Big Streef was over there, and hey Zach. And so, Toronto's hurt, so Ramchick was playing left, and then credit to Dan Rochar, the O-line coach, but he moved guys around quite a bit. Andrews Pete was playing inside. Andrews Pete would bump outside. He'd kick Ramczyk over to the right sometimes, and just not. You always want to be prepared for what could happen, and obviously during the season, Strief goes down in that first game, and all of a sudden we have to play a little switcheroo, and yet the guys were ready for that. They were able to do that very effectively without blinking, and I think that's just because you try to prepare for whatever scenario you might encounter. But now that Ramczyk's been on the right side for majority of camp, he's kind of coming into his own, continuing to improve. Got a great group around him when you look at Tehran on the other side. Max Unger is kind of our mainstay, inside, and then obviously Larry now, I think that relationship between guard tackle is so important, and so the more reps that you can get with the same guy, that's pretty key as well.
Drew, can you relate to Taysom's first half the other night, or just a young quarterback having a lot of turnovers and struggles early on? Did you ever have anything like that?
Yeah, well, the tough part is when some stuff is kind of out of your control. The first one, he throws a good ball and it just tips off the receiver's hands and gets picked. That's not his fault, And yet, then the snowball effect, where a ball just kind of slips out of his hands, and then after that, you're trying to throw a ball, give a guy a chance to make a play, and guy makes a crazy interception, and then there's a sack fumble. So it's not, you don't look at it and say, all these blatant sins. It's just like, gosh, that very easily could have gone the other way, our way, but it didn't. And so, but yeah, listen, Taysom is a pretty mentally tough guy. He's had to overcome a lot throughout the course of his career. If you look at his college career, overcoming injury after injury to come back and continue to play at a really high level. He's a guy that loves football. He loves to compete. Man, he's a hard worker. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. So the sky's the limit for a guy like him. And the more reps that he gets in this offense, the more opportunities that he gets in competitive situations, the better he's going to get. And, we've all had games like that, and next time out he might throw 4 touchdowns, so that's just part of the evolution.
Coach talked about you all getting on the same page and the receivers painting the picture for the quarterbacks. So sometimes it's more complicated.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And we put a lot on our guys. We put a lot on the receivers, that require, everything is timing and everything is rhythm. And that's created with having a clear picture as to what everyone is doing and being able to anticipate that and trust that. And we're still in the phase of developing that trust, right? And that timing and that chemistry. So it's not, we're still midway through camp here. We still have a lot of work to do.
I know he hasn't practiced a ton, but how have you seen things going for
Cam?
Meredith?
Good. Obviously, the more time we get, the better. So I'm excited that he's, kind of been able to be healthy here over the last few days and get some of those reps and a lot of time after practice and just whatever time we can get talking shop and then actually repping it to develop that timing and trust is good.
Guys, we have time for 2 more.
What's been the process of getting that rapport built with like a rookie like Traquan?
That's been good. He's been getting a ton of reps.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've gotten a lot of time on task with him, and there's nuances that you continue to kind of put into the offense or give him the ability to do, and just see how that progresses. But I've been really impressed throughout the entire camp. His ability to step in, make plays, man, when the ball comes to him, be in the right place. It sounds like a little thing. Get lined up, run the right depth, the right timing, all those things. Man, that takes time. It takes time on task. But he's starting to come into his own a little bit.
Hey, Drew, for a guy who's played as long as you have, what are some of the things that you do to challenge yourself mentally, to keep it fresh, to maintain that edge?
Well, I try to approach each day very game-like, in the way that I warm up and the way that I prepare for the day and the way that I study the script and come out to practice with a plan, always having a plan for, okay, I want to make sure I get these types of throws today, or man, the minute I get this look on defense, I want to check to this because I want to see if the guys can handle it, or just little things, having a plan each and every day, because then by the end of camp, here we are, from the time camp starts to week 1 is like 40 days, and so at that point you can say, all right, I've accomplished all these things each and every day because I had a plan. And so then by the time your first game rolls around, you feel like you're ready, you're prepared.
What's it like not seeing Gates
Last
out
one,
here?
please.
Gates, yeah, that's crazy. He's such a mainstay here for so long. He's the man.
Thanks, Drew.